All right, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Today we are talking about how to offer GLP-1 and peptide therapies through a compliant partnership model. So peptide therapies is quickly becoming the future of medicine. So I'm excited to be your host and to facilitate this training. And I also have two other colleagues who will be speaking to you all. So I am Dr. Jessica Chung. I am a doctor of nursing practice and board certified family nurse practitioner. I am the founder of the International Business Association for Nurses, as well as founder of JC Healthcare and Associates, a direct primary care practice based in Tampa, Florida. I am an EllieMD lead brand partner, just promoted last month. Very excited about that. And I'm very much a very busy woman, and I love all things business and healthcare. And so, my love for those two things, as well as my love for people, I have been able to combine all of that as a healthcare provider, a practice owner, a consultant, and been able to combine all of that in this wonderful, awesome opportunity I've had with EllieMD to expand my offerings in longevity therapies. So we will be sharing with you all that tonight. So we are going to talk about the opportunity and how you yourself, as a provider or a healthcare enthusiast, a fitness person, a wellness enthusiast, no matter where you are in your professional journey, you can do this as well. One thing that I love about being able to do this is that I am not only sharing these therapies with my own patients, but I myself have been on my own journey. So I have used peptides and I have used semaglutide and tirzepatide, and it's been absolutely life changing in just my own progress. So, dealing with post COVID weight gain, chronic stress from being a busy business owner, healthcare professional. I gained weight and I couldn't figure out what I needed to do other than exercise and eat right, how to get it off. And also, I'm aging, a couple years, I'll be 40, but nonetheless, I have been able to see progress using peptides for myself and also learning about peptides, learning about how I can benefit from them, and then teaching my patients on how they are able to benefit from peptides as well. And so we will also have a panelist speaker tonight that's joining us, Raquel Landry. She is a dual certified family nurse practitioner and psych mental health nurse practitioner. She is the founder of B Lux Med Spa in Louisiana. She's also an EllieMD advanced brand partner, and she herself is a peptide enthusiast. She is actually going to share her own story with using a peptide and how she incorporates that in her med spa as well. And our guest speaker is Lori Werner. Lori is the founder of Medical Marketing Wiz. She's a certified menopause coach. She is an LEMD director. She experienced early menopause at the age of 41, and she's going to share also her testimony with using peptide therapies. And she is passionate about helping others gain access to safe and medically supervised peptides. So we are going to have Lori join us right now, and she's going to talk to us about this opportunity and how you all can benefit from it as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chung, and your entire audience here. Wow, you know how to pack a webinar. So I am absolutely honored to be part of it and to share this with your audience, and really in the hopes to help patients get access to safe peptides through medical providers as well as through other clinics, medical spas, nurses, anyone who is really also passionate about longevity and wellness. This is for you. So, a little bit about me, as Dr. Chung mentioned, I've also been on my own peptide journey. So I went through menopause at 41. really honestly didn't even know I was going through menopause because I had an ablation in my mid 30s. And so started feeling all those changes. Went on hormone therapy shortly thereafter, and that really helped me. I do think that the hormone therapy helped with my mood, helped me, with libido, I would say, and just, got me to feel like myself again, almost. The problem was that I was still very fatigued. I have been one of those people. I have been blessed with a good metabolism. And I used to be able to eat a whole entire pizza and not gain a pound. And pretty much menopause hit, and that came to a complete screeching halt. I was still doing all the things I needed to do: exercise, drink water, get my 10,000 steps a day, stay away from fast food, all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. But gained about 20 pounds overnight and could not get rid of it no matter what. I tried fasting, I tried keto, I tried the Prolon fasting diet. I mean, you name it, I tried it, nothing worked, and it got really, really frustrated. And my doctor actually mentioned microdosing of GLP-1s to me, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And so I've actually been microdosing GLP-GIP, also known as tirzepatide, since just about this time last year. So it's been a little bit over a year. And I've dropped 21 pounds of body fat. I've maintained muscle mass by continuing to go to my Pure Barre class and do all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And then since then, I've added a few more peptides as I've gotten just more knowledge on the benefits of various peptides. So I take GHKCU, I also take NAD, and then during menopause, I actually got frozen shoulder, which is a real fun thing to deal with. And the BPC 157 TB 500 was an absolute game changer for me with that. So I definitely am a peptide advocate now. And the other thing, kind of my day job, I own this marketing agency and I work with functional and integrative medicine providers. So I do have access to a lot of the peptide certification courses and things like that. And so I do feel really comfortable with these therapies as well from a clinical standpoint. And so in my network, I've introduced these to a lot of the providers that want a safe and compliant way to be able to offer these in their clinics. So, what we're going to talk about today is exactly that. How can you go about offering prescription peptides without the overhead and liability? Because that's always something that we need to consider when you're bringing peptides into your business. We'll talk about the ship to home peptides telehealth partnership with EllieMD. We'll show you exactly how that works. You can see if it's a good fit for you. We'll also talk about the pharmacy. So, where are these peptides actually sourced from? This is extremely important. Actually, the FDA even just came out with something yesterday that talked about how peptides have to be coming from a 503A certified compounding pharmacy under a prescription of a licensed MD and DO. And the beauty of this platform, it is very compliant to those standards. We'll talk about the health assessment process and kind of what that looks like if you were to do this partnership, because there are a lot of questions around that I'm sure that you'll have. And then we'll also talk about marketing and business support. And this is one of the things that I think is huge, especially partnering with Dr. Chung and the International Business Association of Nurses, is you get a lot of extra support to help you launch this within your business or even just within your friend and family and network. We'll talk a little bit about that as well, because at the end of the day, we want to help you get started seamlessly. And then you can see, hey, is this something that you'd like to integrate? And then we'll kind of talk to you about the next steps. In terms of the market for this, and again, me being in the marketing world, I am looking at Google Trends every single day. Not only am I looking at Google Trends, I'm looking at AI trends. So what are the top search terms right now in the last, honestly, 18 months? Peptides are huge. And the thing is that patients are searching for these. They're seeing them on social media. They're seeing them on the news. They're hearing celebrities taking these peptides. And so they're researching it. And if you're not offering these, or if you don't have a way to get these to patients in a safe and compliant way, the patients end up going to these black market and gray market sources that are not filtered. We have no idea where they're coming from. And that's really where things get a little bit scary. And so being able to offer peptides in a way that's compliant is also helps you grow literally all of the rest of your services. So Raquel, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit later about her med spa and how she's incorporated these into her med spa and how incorporating those can help grow some of her medical spa services and her other wellness services. So it is a great time to be learning about this and capitalizing on this huge search trend. And so I have kind of two different groups of providers that I work with through my company, and some of them are prescribers, right? So folks like Dr. Chung, who definitely could prescribe peptides herself. And then we also have other clients who maybe it's a medical spa owner and they are a esthetician or a nurse that isn't a nurse practitioner and can't prescribe, and they've got a medical director that they've got to get who may not be there to be able to prescribe these peptides. Either way you think about it, there are a lot of things that go into kind of doing this yourself. So you've got to get the medical director, you've got to deal with the DEA, you've got to buy the peptides, you got to figure out what pharmacy they're coming from. You've got to make sure that you're compliant and that the pharmacy is compliant. So there's a lot of things that go into this that at the end of the day, a lot of times when I ask providers, how much are you actually making at the end of all of this? And they're like, Lori, you know what? That's a good question because it probably really isn't that much. And so this telehealth partnership that we'll talk about is one way to eliminate that overhead. The other thing is telehealth, right? And we have a mix of people that we work with. Some are doing all telehealth, some are not doing telehealth at all, and some are a mix. The thing is that we've learned, all of us learned after COVID, we want our groceries shipped to our front door and we want to be able to meet with our provider online. And so patients want telehealth, especially busy professional people. They don't want to have to take time out of their busy day to drive and take time off of work and all of that sort of stuff. They want to be able to get telehealth. And so this is also a way for you to capitalize on that demand for telehealth. And so essentially what the EllieMD brand partnership is this a done for you ship to home peptide program. The other great thing about this is that the EllieMD providers that actually do the prescribing are licensed in all 50 states. So I have a lot of providers that love that because, so for example, I live in Michigan and half of my state goes to Florida in the winter. And so if you're licensed in Michigan and your patient now is going to spend half the year in Florida, you potentially lose that patient for peptides because you're not licensed in Florida. The partnership allows you to be able to offer peptides in all 50 states, but you're going to keep that client relationship. So that's the other thing that's really important to know is EllieMD and the telehealth providers that are managing the prescriptions, they are not here at all to meddle in anything that you're doing with that patient. So if you're running that patient's labs or you're talking to them about lifestyle modifications or you're doing a DEXA or an in-body scan or you're doing gut health testing, you are still doing all of those things. It's just the actual shipping and approval of the prescription peptide goes through Ellie, and we'll kind of talk to you about how that exactly works. They're not going to meddle in anything else that you have going on with that client or patient. You keep the relationship. They just are handling the shipping, the overhead, and they are handling the liability for the peptides. You, as a brand partner, earn between a 20 and 40% commission on all of the orders. And we'll talk a little bit about how that works. And you can enroll as a business. So let's say we have some nurses that are nurses at the hospital and they're like, man, I really would love to have a side business. They can enroll as an individual. Or if you're somebody like Raquel, Dr. Chung, you have your own clinic, you have your own telehealth, you can also enroll as a business, which is great. And this is, this is applicable even if you don't have letters behind your name. But if you're an MD, DO, NPs, PAs, chiropractors, nurses, gyms, medical spas, health coaches, nutritionists, and many more are all eligible to be brand partners with EllieMD. And so in terms of the peptides that they offer, they're really split into four main categories, and we'll kind of go through these. So you've got the weight management with the GLP and GIP. We've got longevity and wellness peptides, sexual health peptides, as well as skincare peptides. The other nice thing about the weight loss category, so this is true for weight loss and microdosing, is that they are available in both an injectable once a week or oral drops. I always tell people the injectable is definitely going to be more efficacious, right? But you are going to have some people that are just completely afraid of needles. And so it's really nice that there is a once weekly oral formulation of the GLP and GIP. So you do have both options. The patients also will get to customize their additive. So for me specifically, I'm low in B12, so I add B12 to my microdose that I am on personally. But again, I've had people that are like, "Hey, my patient already has elevated B12. Like, what could they be on?" There are other options as well. So this is the peptides are customized for that specific patient based on their BMI and then the additive that they choose. And there's no extra cost for the additive. It's included. In terms of the pricing, their pricing is very reasonable. In fact, 2 months ago, they actually even dropped their pricing. So the microdosing of the tirzepatide starts at $239 per month for patients. The weight loss dose starts at $299 per month. Obviously, the weight loss is on a tiered scale based on the dose that the patient is on, but very, very comparable with some of the other online telehealth platforms. And we'll really go through as well what makes this different and some of the important things to consider in terms of efficacy, potency, and sterility of the peptides that EllieMD offers. There are a whole host of peptides. Honestly, if we do this webinar in 2 months, there's going to be even more of them on here. They're constantly adding new peptides every single month. They just added the MOTS as well as the DSIP. So I actually just ordered this one myself. So this is Delta Sleep Inducing Peptide. I actually just did my third dose last night because I'm menopausal and I have a hard time sleeping. So I think this is actually going to be huge for menopausal women. But they have a whole host of different peptides and are adding new ones every single day. They're not going to have any of the peptides that aren't like non-research grade. So retatrutide, for example, is not available yet. As soon as that is medical grade, I'm sure that's going to be one that's going to be added. So that's always a question that we do get asked. As far as the pharmacy partner, so this again is very, very important is where do these peptides come from? So again, they are medically supervised and they are going to be prescribed by licensed MDs and DOs through the Ellie platform. The pharmacy is a 503A certified compounding pharmacy. It's called Clover RX. It's located in Texas. So these are all compounded in the United States. They are FDA inspected facilities as well as ingredient suppliers. And every single peptide is potency verified and has independent lab testing for safety, purity, and potency. And they are triple and quadruple filtered for contaminants. Again, this is something that these patients that are getting these gray market and black market peptides, they have absolutely no idea where they're coming from. They have to constitute them themselves. They're not filtered. And that's really makes a lot of folks nervous. And so the nice thing here, very compliant, very safe. The pharmacy is also accredited by the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy. That's actually voluntary as well. So I don't know, maybe one of you guys, if you have the chance, if you could put in the chat the pharmacy, so that might be helpful for them to take a look at if you want to look into that further. So what sets EllieMD apart? So number one, there is physician oversight, which is nice. And we'll kind of talk about the patient journey and how that really would fit into your practice specifically. The dosing is personalized for every single patient. So, if I fill out my health assessment, I'm putting in my information, my BMI, and they're going to compound it specifically for me, which is really nice. They are pharmaceutical grade, so we're not dealing with gray market, black market, research grade, not for human use sort of peptides. These are all medical grade. And they are not reconstituted vials. So patients don't have to worry about mixing these, any of that sort of thing. It comes with every single thing they need to be able to get started the very first day. Dr. Chung, do you want to hop on and maybe talk a little bit about the patient journey, if you don't mind?
Yes, absolutely. So the patient journey for LEMD is really seamless. It's very simplified and it's easy in terms of allowing your patients, your clients, your customers to access the therapies. So, as a brand partner, you will receive a link, and that link is whatever you make it. So, LEMD slash Jane Smith, LEMD slash Lux Med Spa, whatever you want it to be. And you share that link with your potential patients, your potential customers, clients. They will then use that link. They will create a free account. So they will sign up as a patient, and that will then allow them to have access to the patient portal. It's very important that your patients, your clients sign up, because there are some peptide therapies that they will not be able to see until they create that account. So if they go on and they're asking you, hey, where is this peptide or that, they will not be able to actually see it and read on it, order it until they create that account. Then they choose whatever therapy it is that they desire. Now, keep in mind, some of us are practitioners, some of you may be just, again, wellness professionals, fitness professionals. Maybe you're not a prescriber. Either way, everyone does not have to be the expert in telling or deciding for your patient, your customer, what product to choose. You can definitely guide them based either on your own experience, your own knowledge in terms of what they should choose, but ultimately they should know the peptide therapy that they're going for. Again, if they are your patient and you are directing them to, use semaglutide or tirzepatide, they can choose that based on your direction. And then they have to complete the medical assessment, in which the LEMD provider will review and determine if they are approved for that therapy. So that assessment does ask about their medical history. It does ask in regards to, do they have a primary care provider that they see regularly? Depending on the therapy, it will ask, have they had labs done in a certain time frame? And there are some therapies that LEMD will offer to the patient to have a lab order. Nonetheless, that the patient does have to agree that they are in contact or communication with their own primary care provider. So whether or not you are the primary care provider, it puts that responsibility on the patient to communicate with their primary care provider. And once it's approved, whatever that therapy is, the product, the treatment is then shipped directly to the patient, and the patient has access through the LEMD support to speak with their LEMD provider, ask questions. If they have an issue with their order, maybe that's a non-medical related or non-treatment related question, they'll go through LEMD customer service support to ask questions and have access to that help as well. So that's how this process is. It's very streamlined, simple, and also, you as a brand partner, you will also go through this process as well. We definitely encourage brand partners to place their own orders, and so that you can also go through the process. You can understand what your patients, your clients, your customers will also see. And so that way, when they have questions, you'll be able to answer as well. So again, for those of you who are providers and practitioners, this is seamless and simple in terms of you integrating this into your practice, because you're simply directing the patient and the customer to your link. For those of you who are not providers or prescribers, you are just sharing your link. Again, you're guiding them to what product or therapy to use, and then LEMD handles the rest.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Chung. I know I'm going to go back to that slide real quick. I know that sometimes people will have questions about, like, well, is this doctor going to recommend other therapies? Or no, the LEMD doctor is literally only going to approve or deny the peptide that patient chose. So, and let's just say you already have your patients on a weight loss protocol, and they're already taking, and you want to switch them to this. If the patient uploads a picture of their prescription, EllieMD will let them start right where they are at with you. So that's another nice thing. Again, they're here really to support you and what your relationship is with the patient, and they're just approving or denying the peptide, which is really nice. So, compensation wise, so I did briefly talk about this. So, you start out at a 20% commission. It is based on a point value associated with these peptides. So, for example, a GLP-1 is about 220 points. It starts at $299. So, it's not a dollar for dollar point. You're making a 20% commission. So, on a GLP-1 at the 20% mark, you're making $44. And then as you go up, you're up making $88 per patient per month. It is, as a provider, relatively easy to get up to this. So this is about 23 patients taking any peptide. You're at the 40% mark. They do also offer a referral program. So some people do have a network of other providers. Maybe somebody you went to nursing school with, and you're like, you know what, my friend Raquel over in Louisiana would probably love to be able to offer this at her med spa. I'm going to let her know about it. You will make a 7% bonus on her orders, but do know there is a little bit of work involved, right? Like you've got to introduce her to it, help her get started. So it is nice that EllieMD does reward you for that. Again, this piece of it is optional. Some people want to just use it only to get their patients access to peptides, and that's perfectly fine. This just kind of gives you a scenario of 20 GLP-1 customers per month, which again, or I'm sorry, 10 GLP-1 customers per month, which is honestly very doable. I have 10 friends, and I'm not even a provider that probably will easily get on GLP-1s because we're all on the same struggle bus right now. That is an additional $68,000 in revenue. Kind of an example of if you have 20 GLP-1 customers or 50. And again, this is only a GLP-1 scenario. Many patients, such as myself, are taking 3 and 4 different peptides. So again, that number might be 20 patients on 3 peptides. So definitely a really nice revenue opportunity for your business. And what I love about this, I work with so many providers that spend tens of thousands of even $100,000 on pieces of medical equipment that end up being dust collectors and don't really bring in a lot of revenue. We'll get into it, but the cost, I'll do a little teaser. The cost to become a brand partner is $79. So they're not here to, rob people and make some big, huge onboarding fee. They really want to give providers access to this at a reasonable cost. So what you need to get started, it's a $79 one-time fee, not once a year, just one time. And then the only ongoing fee is $8 a month. And that's really for you to get your EllieMD link for you to be able to have people place orders. You do also get an entire marketing and business kit with this as well. So you get a dedicated onboarding person at EllieMD that will help you. There are email and text messages that are completely done for you, patient education, slide decks, marketing assets with your QR code, front desk scripts, really, really nicely put together marketing assets. And you honestly also get access to me and my team because I am partnered with Dr. Chung and the International Business Association for Nurses and her entire team. So just as an added bonus, you do get access to my help if you do decide to get started. Again, you get the commissions, no inventory, no overhead, no liability, branded assets ready to go. And literally you can sign up as a brand partner and start offering peptides within 5 minutes. So really, really easy to get started. The EllieMD Hub, so this is something new. They're continuing to add assets to this every single day. They have an entire practitioner guide. So as I mentioned, the front desk scripts, the event invitation emails, tons of Canva templates and resources completely done for you, really to make it easy for you to get started quickly. And again, me and my team are happy to talk to you about that as well. When you get started, essentially all you do is you will create what they call a replicated website. So LAMD.com/whatever your business name is. And then boom, you're ready to go. So super easy to set up. You do not have to be tech savvy at all. And then, as Dr. Chung mentioned, we just encourage you to place an order for yourself. You can do the skincare, you can do the protein shakes, you can get just B12, really whatever you want. But it's nice for you to just go through that process to understand, what does this health assessment form look like, and what is the messaging directly with the LEMD's doctors look like, and how long does it take for me to actually receive the product? Because those will actually be questions that patients will ask you. So it's just nice to kind of have experienced that on your own end, and you will make a commission back on your own order. In addition to that, we will help you connect your LEMD if you have a regular business, a medical clinic or health coaching, whatever it is that you have, and you want to have that connected to your website. We actually have instructions on exactly how to do that. And I'm also happy to hop on and help you with that as well. And then we do webinars every single week. So we do a patient education webinar. And this is really to teach your patients what is a peptide. So as Dr. Chung mentioned, to become a brand partner, you don't have to go through some peptide certification right now and be an expert in every single peptide. You get the leverage of our team and all of the other clinicians and brand partners that help to put a very educational webinar together. And you can just invite people to that. We also encourage you, if you want a spotlight, so if you want to come on and talk about your own health journey, or you want to come on and talk about why you're excited to be able to offer peptides in your practice, you can come on that webinar and we do the rest of the presenting for you. But it is the fastest, easiest way to educate and launch at the same time. So we're going to have another one actually next Wednesday. So even if you decide to be a brand partner today, you can actually be on the webinar next week. Special perks for enrolling with Dr. Chung and the International Business Association for Nurses, or whoever on her team invited you to this webinar. You also get some extra perks. So I have a book on Amazon called Anti-Aging and Longevity Marketing. We will actually ship you a free author copy directly to your house, no strings attached. It's got tons of marketing tips for growing a longevity focused business. In addition to that, we are happy to do a free marketing strategy meeting with you as well. So we can talk about all kinds of things: search engine optimization, webinars, events, email marketing, and really help you put together a comprehensive marketing strategy for your whole entire business. So that is also complimentary. So, in terms of joining as a brand partner, again, kind of just recapping what we went over, this is a plug and play, seamlessly integrates into your business, no meddling in what you have going on with your patients, a done for you business kit to get you started, and it's literally $79. There's also no minimums, there's no quotas. So you can run with it. You can also decide, hey, you know what? I might just use this at the beginning to start my own peptide journey and then share it with some friends and family. So completely up to you. But we would just encourage you, and we'll open it up for questions as well. But we would encourage you to just get back to whoever it was that invited you to the webinar today. If you are interested in being a brand partner, you can also scan the QR code here if you want to sign up now and you're ready to get going. But we're really excited to really help you guys launch this within your business and just get more patients access to safe, medically supervised peptides. Dr. Chung, do you want to talk about this one? I think this is a good one for you.
Yes. So, just like anything that you do, professionally, you want to be great at it. You don't want to just be mediocre. And so we definitely want people who just have a heart to provide service and care, whether you are actually, a licensed medical professional or not. So if you care for those people that you are around, family members, friends, co-workers, colleagues, your own patients. We want you as a brand partner because, you're going to share this and you're going to share this with truth, and you are caring about where the people that you know and love are getting their peptides from. And you want to share that education. You don't want to pressure. We never want to pressure anyone into to buying something just because you're trying to reach a goal or, get a promotion. That's not what this is about. This is about providing a way in which people can improve their overall well-being. So if that's you, you would make a great brand partner, and building trust through real conversation. So this is not something that's gimmicky, or something that you feel like you have to trick people into. That this is not that. So if you feel that that's what you need to do, this may not be for you. But if you're looking for something that isn't that, this definitely is for you. You must be coachable and you must be consistent. So this is a way not only for you to expand your offerings or for you to, also for you to make additional income, but it's passive, but it takes work to make it passive income. And so you have to be open to learning and growing. We do have brand partner trainings on Monday evenings. They are recorded. So whether you can join live or you take the time out to watch those recordings, you have to be open to learning, and because that's going to be the best way that you're going to grow. Using the tools and the systems provided from EllieMD corporate and also from your upline, which would be either myself, Lori, could be Raquel, whoever invited you to this training. You want to be consistent in reaching out to them, asking questions, and learning how to grow as a brand partner. And you want to do things with integrity and you want to take action. So, sharing your link, inviting people to webinars and to conversations, that's how you're going to grow with this. And making sure that you're remaining professional, you're following up, you're not trying to, bash other telehealth companies on the internet and on social media. Don't do that. This is a natural way to, again, educate people and also get them to learn about LEMD overall. And so you want to keep it professional and you want to keep your messaging and educational content, whether messaging, emails, posting. You want to ensure that you remain compliant. So again, you don't have to be an expert. You do not have to be a peptide, metabolic, endocrinology expert to join as a brand partner, but you definitely have to be someone who cares. You have to be willing to learn and you have to show up. And so that brings me to everyone hearing from Raquel. Raquel had joined, I don't even think it's 2 full months yet, but she joined my team as a brand partner and she's been absolutely amazing. She's an example in terms of what makes a great brand partner. So I'm going to have Raquel share why she joined as a brand partner and also how she has been integrating LEMD into her med spa.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Chung. Thank you, Lori. Thank you to everybody for joining this call. I'm Raquel Landry. I'm the CEO and founder of Belux Health and Wellness. It's a med spa located in Louisiana. I dealt with a lot of patients that were on GLP-1s and also peptides. My med spa is located, well, we have 4 different locations. So you can imagine how something like that can be very chaotic. I had a lot of overhead. I was having to deal with, medications being shipped directly to the patient, overseeing all of those things in all of those locations just was like hectic. I chose to join LEMD, because of the support that I was able to get. I love the fact that I don't have to deal with overhead. I don't have to worry about ordering or stocking any medications. So for my med spa, in terms of how I operate, it was literally game changer for the business. I function now in a role as, even though I'm a part of Ellie and I am a brand partner, I am no longer the provider. So I can spend more time with my patients as their health and wellness coach. So I'm still involved in their care, but not that you typically have to be as a brand partner. You don't have to be in the medical field. But like I said, I love that everything was done for me. It was very easy. Working with Dr. Chung and Lori has made my life so much easier because of the support that they provide. Like, they literally held my hand the entire time. So I was still able, and as busy as I have been, I'm still able to run my clinic, tend to my patients, but Ellie just made it so much easier, that, it took all the pressure off of me. So one of the things is I'm not licensed in multiple states. So I didn't need to have a license to be able to become a brand partner, but I'm now able to offer all of these things, the GLP-1s, the peptides, the protein powder, the skin serum, all of those things nationwide. And I'm still able to focus and manage the current patients that I have. So it just allows me to, expand my access. And the things that we're doing good, we're able to do it better. Dr. Chung mentioned earlier, you want to be great at it. These guys have made it to where, it makes me look great, but it definitely is a process that has worked for me, and like I said, overall has been game changer for my med spa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raquel. And Raquel is just one of the brand partners that are on my team. And the thing that I also want to add is that it really doesn't take a lot to grow pretty quickly with EllieMD. So in terms of looking at this as a additional way to make an income, again, if you're somebody that you are looking to start a business, whether a clinic, coaching business, or maybe just anything else. Maybe you're a hairstylist. Maybe you're not even in the medical field, as Raquel said. This is a great way to share this with people that you know. As we all know, peptides are growing, and you want to ensure that people are getting peptides in a safe way, getting them from a pharmacy that is certified. And so that way they're not worried about, is this safe? And you're not worried about a family or friend doing something or using something that's not safe. And then we are a team. We work as a team. Before we started the webinar, I feel like I have talked to Lori and Raquel more than anything in the past few months, more than anyone else. So it's really become a very tight team. We work together. We bounce ideas off of each other. We reach out to one another outside of, business. So you're really joining a great team. And again, if you were invited by someone else, definitely reach back out to them in joining as a brand partner. So with that being said, it's only $79 to join as a brand partner. If you were invited by me directly, the link is in the chat. And also I will follow up via email, and you'll also have that link to join from my link as a brand partner. And so what we'll do right now, we have time for questions. So if there's any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, or you can put it in the Q&A. And I'll turn it over to Lori. If Lori, you want to add anything else?
Sure. No, you nailed it. You nailed it. And yeah, I'm sure there's going to be, let's go to the chat, because there's always some really good questions in there. So let's see. I'm sure some folks have some questions. Okay.
Yes. So I'll read. So someone asked, as the patient's provider, do we have access to their chart to see what they are on? Great question. So I'll answer. So if you directly referred that patient to order their peptide treatments through EllieMD, that's obviously with knowing that what you referred them to get. Now, again, they are able to order whatever they want. And again, they have to check off and say they discussed it with their primary care provider. And so that's definitely kind of one of the things that kind of a guardrail there. Now, with that being said, can they order something and you don't know? Absolutely. Should they discuss it with you? Absolutely. Is EllieMD going to share their chart with you directly. Not that I know of. I haven't seen that and I don't think so. What I do personally in my office, I have them, we have an iPad. We hand them the iPad. I have the website pulled up. They do everything. They create their account. They do the health assessment. They submit their order. I look at it because what I like to do, I just take a screenshot to upload it to their chart. That's not anything that's required. That's just something I do. So I know you will get a notification when you get a customer order. However, you will not see what that customer ordered because LEMD treats customers as it's their patient. So whether or not you are the provider, the primary care provider, LEMD wouldn't know that. LEMD just knows that you're the brand partner that's going to earn the commission from that order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'll know, I mean, you can sort of figure out what they ordered just based on knowing what the volume is.
Yeah.
But again, remember, they are filling out a HIPAA protected health assessment that is sent to the LEMD doctor. So, but again, like Dr. Chung said, most of the time you know what it is that they're ordering. Um, Let's see. Okay, is there a portal to upload relevant labs? If yes, yes. So part of the health assessment form, it will ask them, have you had labs? They can upload their labs if they want to. They are not required to get labs. But I know Dr. Chung and I, when we very first talked, she's a big proponent on labs. She can go ahead and order labs for her patients just like she normally would do. And certainly those patients can upload the labs. They're not doing hormone therapy and things like that yet, where the labs tend to be a little bit more important. But yeah, so the labs are not required by Ellie, but certainly if you want to do those, you can, and they can load that. Another question is, do I need to have a weight loss certificate to be a brand partner? No, you do not. And someone from another state that I am not licensed in can order from my link and never have to see me. So technically, like let's say Dr. Chung has a friend in California and that friend is like, you know what, this is amazing. I would love to get my peptides through you. Yes, she can order from Dr. Chung. She's not necessarily going to see Dr. Chung. She's getting the peptide prescribed by the LEMD physician in her state, in this example, California. But do know this isn't like some rogue thing that patients are just going and ordering any peptide they want. I mean, there is physician oversight here. So it's not like a free for all where they can just order whatever they want. LEMD does have the liability and the compliance that they have to follow. So, for example, I had a friend in her health assessment, she has severe GERD. And because of that, she did not get approved for her peptide, as she should not, right? For her GLP-1. If somebody has active cancer and they try to order Samoralin, they're not going to get approved. So the LEMD doctors are certified in peptides. So you can feel confident that the person that is actually doing the prescribing knows what they're talking about. Hopefully that answered your question, Cherie. Good question, by the way. Concern is the muscle wasting side effects. Can you speak more for patient education? So that's a really good question. And that's something that does come up in our patient education presentation quite a bit. So that is the protein blend that LEMD has is actually designed specifically for people on GLP-1s, because keeping a good level of protein is important if you're on GLP-1. So that's something that's really nice, is that you can offer the protein blend. And then they do also have some of the peptides. So the Samoralin, the Ipamorelin, Tesamorelin, those are really good for muscle growth. So a lot of times they will couple a GLP-1 with something like Samoralin, Tesamorelin, or Ipamorelin to help with the muscle. For me personally, again, I've been on microdosing GLP-1s. I really make sure I get a good amount of protein. That's something you can definitely talk to them about. And I continue to do weight training, right? So I was able to drop the 21 pounds, but not lose any muscle mass. And I actually have an in-body scale where I can track that. So, but it is a good concern. It is important for for that question. And that's something that we definitely address on the patient webinars that we do.
Also, Ellie does have the option. You can choose the GLP-1s compounded with L-carnitine that help with the muscle wasting and the recovery. So that also is an option. So L-carnitine, B12, and
Glycine.
glycine. Yes. So those are the options in terms of, and then the glycine also has some benefit with that as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Very good questions. Boy, we got an engaged audience here. So,
Yes.
well, great. Well, we look forward. If you guys have more questions, reach out to whoever invited you, whether it's Dr. Chung, Raquel, any of the folks on our team. We are happy to do a three-way call, chat with you with any questions that you may have. We want you to feel supported. We want you to feel like all of your questions are answered, and we would love to welcome you and be able to help you really succeed with us. So, thank you so much for everybody that joined, and I'll hand it back over to you, Dr. Chung.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And once we send the replay out, feel free to share this. Maybe you might know someone that would be interested. You'll have the ability to share a link where they can watch this replay. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And definitely excited for all of you who are going to take advantage of the opportunity. It's an amazing company to be a part of. And I'm really excited for, the future of healthcare and, just getting away from just traditional pharmaceuticals and now looking into how peptides have been shown and proven through research and showing how they're helping people with so many different conditions. So thank you all again. And thank you for joining. And we will be reaching out, or I should say, we will have more information on future webinars. And you can definitely stay tuned to email to join any other webinars that we have. Thank you.